Klay Thompson, Mr. Klay Thompson. The star shooting guard who wears number 11 for the Warriors has quietly been one of the greatest shooting guards of the past decade, putting up all-star numbers next to his fellow Splash brother Steph Curry for the past 9 seasons. Despite missing the past 2 seasons with injury, Klay has already left a Hall of Fame caliber resume on the court, despite recently only turning 31 years old. So exactly how did this former Washington State Cougar blaze his path to where he is today? Let's take a look. Being the son of first overall pick Michael Thompson, Klay's been in the spotlight his whole life. From an early age, he was around basketball, even befriending future star Kevin Love at the age of 2, when the pair lived in Lake Oswego, Oregon. By the time they were 9 and 10 years old, they were both starring on the same Little League team, with Love crushing homers and Klay being the soft-spoken, well-rounded player he is today on the court. However, despite his father having a lengthy 13-year career in the league, Klay was encouraged to follow his passions from a young age, whether they were on the court or not. In fact, unlike most sons of former players, Michael didn't coach Klay growing up. Klay had to learn the value of hard work and found a way to prove himself without riding on the coattails of his father. These lessons that were instilled in him from a young age are what have shaped him today, molding Klay into the silent assassin he is on the court. His parents never pushed him to be an NBA star, let alone an all-time great. Klay just loved sports and grew up in an environment that nurtured this love, largely thanks to his father. Michael's been a role model for Klay his entire life, with the latter emulating the former's mild-mannered and old-school mentality, both on and off the court. The thing about Klay is, he's never been a flashy player. Ranked as the 51st best player in the class of 2008, Klay received 4 offers from schools: Michigan, Pepperdine, Notre Dame, and Washington State. He chose to attend Washington State, an up-and-coming school in the Pac-12 Conference, with a future national championship-winning coach in Tony Bennett. After 3 years in Pullman, he entered the 2011 draft, where he was selected by the Warriors 11th overall. Klay's on-court appearance is nothing flashy either. No shooting sleeves, tattoos, or long hair. While he does sport an awesome goatee, Klay's appearance represents the modest nature of who he is, himself. Like the rest of us, Klay is still human. He makes mistakes, and like a good chunk of people, has had a run-in with the law. However, this incident was one of the defining moments in Klay's life, which he credits as helping him turn into a true professional both on and off the court. On March 3, 2011, Thompson was driving home in his GMC Envoy, following a game against USC just hours prior. Around 11 p.m., police stopped Thompson for having a burnt-out headlight. As they approached the vehicle, officers reported the odor of marijuana and subsequently arrested Thompson. Although he initially denied any possession of the drug, police uncovered 1.9 grams of marijuana in the car. He was issued a criminal citation for possession of marijuana and was suspended for the team's final regular season game against UCLA, which they would go on to lose in overtime. As a result, this cost him a formidable shot at the NCAA tournament. Klay recalls calling his dad the next morning before the news broke, telling him that he screwed up. Michael was disappointed and went on air to talk candidly about his son's arrest the next morning. He was open and honest about his disappointment as a parent, feeling that he had fallen short in some manner. This was a huge gut punch for Klay, as he realized that his reputation had been tarnished with one simple mistake. On top of all this, Klay received one important message from a player that many fans are familiar with: Kobe Bryant. While Thompson was largely an unknown prospect back then, Bryant was familiar with who he was due to his dad's ties with the organization. Kobe sent him an expletive-filled text telling him he had to learn from this lesson and put it behind him as quickly as possible. Klay still recalls that text as one of the major moments in his life, as he began to realize how he could no longer be a college kid who makes mistakes. He'd have to clean up his actions and have a professional image, which is something he stuck to this day. Klay's maintained a clean slate since the incident in 2011, avoiding any further violations or run-ins with the law. Similar to his fellow Splash brother Steph Curry, Klay was involved in some high-profile trade rumors during his early years in the league. The most significant of these rumors involved a close childhood friend who wanted out of the Minnesota Timberwolves organization following another underwhelming season in 2013-2014. Kevin Love, who had just averaged 26 points and 12.5 rebounds, was tired of losing and wanted to go to a team that was more competitive. Enter the pre-dynastic Golden State Warriors, who were fresh off a 6-game exit at the hands of the Lob City Clippers. Warriors management was eager to provide more help to rising star Steph Curry, who was blossoming into one of the league's best players during that time. Thompson, who was a lottery pick in 2011, had showed immense potential during his first 3 seasons. However, his play was still quite erratic, which was a concern for GM Bob Myers. As the story goes, Golden State was preparing a package for Minnesota centered around Thompson, former All-Star David Lee, and a first-round pick. In return, the Warriors would receive Kevin Martin and Kevin Love. At the time, it seemed like a logical trade for both sides. Warriors get an all-star big in his prime to pair with Steph, while Minnesota gets a young prospect in Thompson and a first-round pick. As rumor has it, Golden State was ready to pull the trigger until one man stepped in and threatened to quit if the deal went through. That man was Jerry West, a Warriors team consultant who believed that the Warriors were making a serious mistake in trading the sharpshooting guard. He nixed the deal. Love went to the Cavaliers, and Thompson remained in Golden State. Looking back, West likely saved Golden State's dynasty and Thompson's NBA career, all with one move. Love has never come close to his 2013-2014 season production, despite winning a championship against Thompson's Warriors in 2016. On the other hand, the Warriors would win the first of 3 championships the next season, with Thompson playing a crucial part in each of them. Thompson was reportedly quite upset that the Warriors would even consider trading him, feeling that he was an integral part of the organization. Klay's belief in himself during that time was truly the turning point in his NBA career, as he went on to earn All-Star appearances for the next 5 seasons and develop into one of the greatest shooters of all time. Despite his remarkable durability on the court over the majority of his career, Thompson's body eventually succumbed to 5 straight years of deep playoff runs and countless hours in the gym. During Game 6 of the 2019 NBA Finals, Thompson suffered an ACL tear while going up for a dunk and landing awkwardly on his leg. While the diagnosis was pretty clear, based on the play, Klay actually returned to the court to shoot his final 2 free throws before exiting the game for good.
Didn't have to use the restroom. And he hits the free throw.
To this day, this is the last time we've seen Klay in NBA action. Following a year of intense rehabilitation and the infamous NBA shutdown, Klay was ready to return to the court this past November. Unfortunately, he suffered a season-ending Achilles injury while training in Southern California. This was a devastating blow for both Thompson and the Warriors, as they would lose their star guard for the 2nd straight season. Achilles injuries are quite devastating to players, as they tend to lose most of their explosiveness. John Wall, Kobe, KD. How effective Klay is in his return to the court remains to be seen. But one thing for sure, he's a fighter. The Warriors are a much better team with him out there, and his playing style may actually minimize the effects of these 2 injuries. Klay is largely a spot-up shooter, occasionally driving to the rim to throw one down. While he may be hesitant to do that moving forward, his shot is still as deadly as ever, which is bad news for the rest of the league. Despite already being a near shoo-in for the Hall of Fame, Klay still has plenty of opportunities to cement his legacy moving ahead. With his most recent injuries, setbacks, and a change in power dynamic across the league, Klay and the Warriors have a new challenge that lies ahead. How they respond will define this new era of Warriors basketball. But one thing's for sure, if you've got Klay, you've got a chance, and that's all he's ever needed. If you're wondering, however, how the return of Klay Thompson will change the Golden State Warriors for the upcoming season, then go ahead and click on this video here, where I go over exactly how Klay makes the Warriors better and how the dynamics change when you have another proven star in the lineup. Click it, guys, watch it, and I'll see you on the other side. As always, thanks for watching. Peace.